Are you wanting to quilt but are just a little bit daunted about what you need? Well, I'm going to help fix that for you and help walk you through some of the things that I consider essentials and then the things that I would add on as I continue my quilting journey to make things easier and more enjoyable. At my core, I am a lazy quilter, which means I just want to sew. So I'm going to use things that are going to help me be successful at that without having to fuss with things too much. Now, one of the first things I'm going to tell you that you're going to need is a good pair of scissors. I happen to have a pair of Karen K. Buckley's here. The biggest thing that's going to matter here is that you are going to want to have your scissors dedicated to fabric and fabric only. Craft scissors are great, but they get dull very quickly. They can get nicks and things in it, and they can push the fabric aside when we're trying to cut an accurate line. So it's really important that we have a good pair of scissors that are dedicated to just our fabric. Mark them however you need to in your household so that people know fabric only. We've also been known to put them up in a way to keep people from using them that shouldn't be using them on other things. The next thing I'm going to tell you that we should be using is quality thread. The most important part of your entire equation in sewing is your time. It's the only part of the equation you can't buy more of. So thread that breaks on you all the time, is it really worth your effort and the savings you might get of spending a few pennies less? So get a good quality thread. I personally like to have one that is more of a sand or cream color for my light things, and one that is probably in my grays for my dark things. That way I don't have to worry about matching the color, and 2-3 spools of thread will do most of the things I need it to do when I'm sewing things together. The other thing I really like are flower head pins. These are a little bit longer. They're also flat, so that when I am putting things together and using these to put my seams together and whatnot, they aren't distorting the fabric as much as something that's got the round pin. They're also easier for me to grip, which I appreciate. Now, I'm going to show you 2 pieces here that are more representation of something you should have. And maybe you already have this in your home, and that's great. Use what you have. Don't feel you have to go out and buy the fancy brand name anything. You need a surface to iron on because you're going to need to iron your seams either to one direction or the other, or iron them flat. And we'll show you that in another video. I'm using a wool pressing mat right here. The nice thing about these is that I can do it right next to my sewing machine and I don't have to get up as much. But if you have that ironing board at home, that will be just fine. Use that to get you started. If you want to add this later on, absolutely go for it, but don't worry about it to get you started. The other thing you need is an iron. Again, if you already have one at home and it's in good working order, use that. And if you want one that is specific for quilting later on, absolutely we'll have that conversation as to why we choose one over another. But right now, we just want the iron and the pressing mat. Those are the basics that I think everybody needs to have just to get started. Once you have those, there are other things that we like to use going forward. And I'm going to move a few of these things aside. I'm going to say the next most important thing is quality fabric. You're going to get this from your quilt shop in most cases. This is a higher quality fabric. It's going to last longer. When you're spending all this time to make a quilt, you want it to have longevity. The threads counts in the fabrics that you're going to get at a quilt shop are typically higher than what you're going to find at your big box, and they're just going to last longer. So we've got pre-cuts here. This is called a charm pack. This is called a layer cake. And these are 10 by 10 squares. These all make getting started very quick because they're curated collections of fabric. Now, as you progress in your quilting journey, we have some other tools that are going to allow you to cut more quickly and more accurately. And these are kind of a set. And again, this is a representation. There's lots of different options out there. First and foremost, you need a rotary cutter. Rotary cutters come in a lot of different styles. I happen to like this one, especially as you're getting started, because this one will only have the blade exposed when you're gripping it. And that is a nice safety measure. Now that goes along with a ruler. And these are specifically for using with the rotary cutters and a cutting mat. Now I have a smaller one here from Creative Grids. This is a 12 by 18. This I would probably just use for travel or going to classes. My big ones that I normally use will take and handle a full yard of fabric at a time. And I like that one for most of my cutting because I don't like to have to move things around a lot. So, but for our purposes here, that's our cutting mat. And again, these consider a set. Now, our last item that I have for this is a stripology ruler. If you are cutting a lot of strips, a lot of pieces, this will allow you to do it very, very quickly, very, very accurate. Is this a purchase you make right when you get going? Probably not. But when you get hooked, like I know you're going to get hooked, eventually you're going to want one of these as well. Hope that helps you get started on the things and help you prioritize what you need to pick up for your sewing room. Feel free to give us a holler. You can see us at hokamas.net. You can come in and see us in the shop in Redding, California. We're happy to help you get started on this journey.